This year I'm finally going to plant berries. I've got strawberries, I've got a whole pink icing blueberry bush I'm going to plant for my patio. I'm very excited about this. I just built a DIY green stalk just last week, and I'm going to plant all of these wonderful strawberries. I've got everbearing strawberries. I'm going to plant and hopefully kind of flesh out from there. I'm really trying to be more efficient and space saving, so I'm putting these in a vertical garden. It's a very popular trend online, so I'm hoping they're going to do well. I'm sure they'll do just fine. I was going to start with bare root strawberries, which is quite literally just the roots that are like basically preserved from the previous year, but I went ahead and bought this little pot from the garden center, and my plan is I'm going to take this and break it all apart and put each crown into a different pot, and it'll sort of just cascade down like a tower. Yeah, you can see the bottom of it. This bad boy is ready to get out of here. Strawberries love airflow, especially if you've never planted these before, which this is my first time, but I've done tons of research. You're not supposed to bury the crown because it needs that airflow. If it gets buried in water, it's just gonna drown. And these are supposed to be space savers, so you don't have to put them up in a new pot. But this pot, this is how big it is. It's the size of my hand. I just, you know, a little extra space is not gonna hurt these guys. So I'm just literally gonna take this out, and I am ripping this in half into parts. Oh. And that's probably really hard to see, you know, but these roots are really nice and long, strong. They can handle a little tug, don't worry. That's one thing I've learned, is that plants can handle a little extra tug and they'll be okay. You can see here, this looks like one plant, but if you get closer, pull out all these dead leaves, there's two separate crowns, one right here and one right here. We are just gonna rip. And you can do this with any kind of plant you want to buy. Just check and see in the pot. I've done this for zucchinis and peppers, green beans that I transplanted. I'm using my new go-to soil, which is compost and peat moss mixture, adding my worm castings for extra nutrients. I'm using Espoma Garden Tone. They do make specific berry tones for all types of berries, raspberries, etc. But honestly, we're on a budget, and I already have the garden tone, so that is what we're using. I made sure to alternate the pots I planted in, just to make sure the berries, once they're grown, are distributed evenly. I've got this very top is actually two. I couldn't quite separate apart. I'd have to like really muscle it apart, so I left them where they are. You can see how they're planted, like almost just barely to where the roots are just covered up enough. Like it almost looks like it's not quite planted right, but it is, trust me. And I sort of staggered all of the plantings. That way, hopefully I can get a good, nice, even mixture. And then strawberries, they send off these runners that will fill up the rest of the pots too. I went from one tiny pot to 7 separate plants. It's really good. I never got the chance to plant strawberries last year, but I did this year, and I'm so happy that I went ahead and just did it. I created this DIY planter for $15 from like the Dollar Tree and like one supply from Home Depot. If you want to see me create this, I'll put a link right here. Hit subscribe on your way out.